John, referee of the year, really referee of a lifetime because you've been in it for a while. How has it changed with you, and do you think the fact that you run a gym in Santa Clarita?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Just closed it, so I'm
Okay.
done.
I was going to join your guys' team at one point, so I didn't like getting beat up. So
That shows you're smart.
yeah. Now, do you think the fact that you and Herb Dean have trained with fighters and all that is why you guys haven't made the errant calls that you see?
I think there's a lot of reasons for it. People don't look at it they just think that you just go and you referee and then you leave and that's you do it for that fight. You're there for 25 minutes or something. The guys that are consistently doing it at a high level, you work at it. You work at it like anybody works at their job, and they're working at being a better football player, baseball player, or umpire, or whatever it's going to be. You have to work at it. You have to look at scenarios and put it in your head as far as when this happens, what should I do? What's going to be the best scenario for the fighters? What's going to be the best scenario for the fans, for the sport? All of that is what's important. And so if you can put yourself and pre-think a lot of those situations, when it occurs, and it's going to occur, you've got the answer already there, and you know exactly where you're going to go with it. And understanding fighters and being in those positions and working out and having people hit you and having the effects of being hit with something that really stuns you, understanding what it feels like, being able to roll and be put in submissions and know, what, that's not going to work, and so you don't worry about it. While another person that doesn't really know, they start to worry about something that's happening because they see it, but they don't understand that it's not going to work with what they have. Or you do understand that's tight, and so you start to get ready to stop the fight. That's what the good people are doing, and that's incumbent upon everybody to reach that standard and to always try to elevate what they're doing. So the sport rises, they rise with it, and the fighters are the ones that benefit along with the fans.
Now, I'm pretty sure it was a quote by you, and if not, I'll just say it was you. And you can say yes or no, or you can answer. I'm pretty sure I heard a quote where you said, when I go in and give the instructions before the fight, I can pretty much tell who's going to win by the way their body is acting, the way they're emotionally sitting. Is that true? And if it wasn't you, can you?
It was probably me. You do get a vibe from fighters, and when you're going to go in, when we talk about giving rules, people think that we're saying, okay, no headbutting, don't bite, don't eye gouge. It's a little small part. What we're talking about is bout conduct. And each fighter is going to be different, and you get used to certain fighters and the way that they are going to act in the back and the way that they're going to be preparing themselves for the fight. But you can see there's certain times you're going to see guys and this guy's ready. He wants to be here. He's happy about being here. And then you're talking to his opponent and you look and you go, he doesn't want to be here. You can see that his mind is going in different directions, and he is absolutely not concentrating on what's occurring, and he actually shows that he doesn't want to be there. Well, it's kind of telling you it's probably not going to be a good night for him. And that's, I would tell you, honestly, after you talk to people and stuff, sometimes you'll have no idea because they're both acting the way they should act. They're both prepared, and they're going to go and you say, hey, this is a toss-up fight. And there's times that, 95% of the time you're going to be able to say, yep, this is the guy that's going to win it. But that's just part of fighting. It's part of football. It's part of hockey. Everyone has their up days, their down days, and guys got to fight no matter if they have an up day or a down day. They still got to go out there.
And you come from a long line of people who younger generation might not know, but you had mountain of men like Mills Lane, guys who really set the tone and the difference in a fight. When you get fights, like he had big ones, you had big ones, when you get fights and you find out you're going to be reffing that, yes, or do you get excited in there?
Yes. Hell yeah, you get excited. A lot of people ask me, do you get nervous? And I don't get nervous because I know my job and I know what's expected of me and I know what I need to do. But do I get excited about a fight? Absolutely. I'm as huge a fan of this sport as there is. I was one of the ones that helped start this, and all I want is it to become the greatest sport in the world, and it's getting there. It's becoming incredibly popular throughout the world. Here in the United States, you're always going to have football. It'll probably be number one, but this is surpassing a lot of them, and it's going to continue to grow with the way the promotions are doing things with fighters and all that. So I get excited for fights. Every time I get a fight, I'm happy to be there. If I don't get a fight, it's okay. I know there will be another one. A lot of people sit there and say, are you upset? No, I'm not upset. If someone else gets that fight, good for them. I hope they do a great job with it.
And last question would be, now When you look back on the history that you've been a part of, do you ever look back at Keith Hackney punching Joe Son in the groin, or Hoist Gracie yanking Chemo's hair and go, yeesh, bunch of savages out there? I'm glad we're out of the cave now.
You know, I get a lot of people that try to compare the past and the older days compared to what's now. It's a different sport. You know, it's different athletes. You know, back then it was more of a style versus style, and guys were singular in what they were basically trained in. And then it got to, it's almost like computers. You know, we had the 1.0 DOS, and that was the beginning. And then we got into, Windows 95, and then you're getting into these other elements, and you get into the fighters that are the 2.0s like the Chuck Liddells, and the 3.0s like the George St. Pierre's, and the 4.0s like the John Jones. And that's what we're getting, is this evolution of these fighters and what they're doing, what they're capable of. They're doing things today that we always said in the past, you're not going to be able to do that in MMA. You're going to get caught. This is what's going to happen. And they're proving it all wrong, and that's that evolution. So when you talk about the past and things, it was the past. What the funniest part is, I get people that will watch those old shows and go, you let that go. He got hit in the groin. It's like, it was legal, you dummy, but that's just the way it is.
Thank you so much, John. And thank you for serving Los Angeles so long.